In part two, now we move on to the more difficult task. Discussion of whether Jesus achieved that salvation, that it's completed, achieved, clear. But finding agreement, I'm on page 2 now of your handout, regarding who benefits from this achieved salvation. That, of course, is highly disputed. If you think not, there are over 125,000 different Christian denominations. In order for that to be, there must be some dispute. Well, there is, unfortunately. The debate centers on the objective plural pronoun us. For us. Who belongs to this objective plural pronoun us? Well, here's some things to think about. Do the objective plural pronouns us, and from that would form the our? Do they refer to a cosmic community? All the world? All the cosmos? Which was indicated by the aspirations of God's love expressed in John 3:16. You have it in the footnote. God so loved the cosmos that he sent Jesus. That's the reason he sent Jesus, because he loves the cosmos. Jesus achieved the salvation he came to do. Does that then mean that all the cosmos benefits? Yes. Or, bullet point 2, are the beneficiaries of Jesus' achieved salvation, we're not questioning that anymore, is that limited, restricted to those who conform to settled principles of faith, regulated by written documents, professions of faith, orthodox belief, like the ecumenical creeds? Now, if you look at footnote 5, I quote here from the Athanasian Creed, which sounds like it restricts the benefit of Jesus' achieved salvation to only those who, and it tells you who they are. Whoever will be saved, before all things it's necessary that they hold the Catholic faith, small c, not Roman Catholic faith, but the Christian Catholic faith, which faith, unless, that's a stipulation, unless everyone do keep whole and undefiled, that's an even deeper stipulation. Without doubt, they'll perish everlastingly. Does that conform to John 3:16 and John 3:17? It's God's motive in sending Jesus on his mission for us and for our salvation was his love for the cosmos. And indeed, he did not send his son to condemn the world. But this creedal statement seems to say, unless you get that right, I'm going to call it the how of salvation. How did Jesus get this done? That the benefit of it doesn't apply to you. I think that's nonsense. Bullet point 4. Or is the salvation Jesus achieved free, not binding, from adherence to settled views of faith? As if faith isn't living, a dialogue between God and humanity, but that it's settled, and because it's settled, it's been codified in creeds and other written documents? that salvation is free from that, but rather subject only to the colored bullet points. 1, God's desire. Who will benefit? It's God's desire that all would be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. I quote that down below, 1 Timothy 2:4. That's God's desire. Why isn't it our desire? 2, that the salvation Jesus achieved would only be subject to the discernment of God, who searches the hearts of those who believe rather than their minds. Notice you can consent to written statements of faith, but does that touch your heart? And the Christian faith, the new covenant predicted by Jeremiah 31, is all about the heart. I will not write it down. I will write it in their hearts. And notice, hearts don't need to be reasonable. In fact, hearts' love is not reasonable, but it's always responsive to the needs of someone else. And isn't that what God is saying in John 3:16 and 17? He's showing his heart. The world needs salvation. No one else can accomplish that save Jesus. And so God sends Jesus. Well, how do our responses to these questions impact the peace that Jesus has left or given us? Can there be peace if you and I are exclusionary, judgmental in terms of who we say God favors? That is, who benefits from Jesus' salvation. So now we're going to talk about the nature of divine peace.